The largest part of the month and a half we spent shooting nights took place on what my director of photography, Don Fauntleroy, liked to call 6 moons over Florida. That's because it really did look like 6 small moons rising at the start of each shooting night. Donnie chose 18 massive lights called super dinos and were raised up by 6 condors, large industrial cranes that can put a lot of weight high in the sky, and all to create on film what would look like moonlight, enough to light a piece of country road 3/4 of a mile long and a half mile wide.
The stunt guy doubling in there was Nick Brandon. While we were doing those scenes, I was actually in the back seat of the car out of sight, and the driver was another stunt driver, David Phillips. He could converse with Nick as they're going down the road. So if Nick ever got in any problem, he would just tell David, and David would back off. So in that instance, we anchored his feet to the roof, so he had control. He couldn't go anywhere. Trish's double was a young lady named Jennifer Badger. She was always up for the job, and she did a real nice job, especially with the car sequence, where we had a little tricky driving to do with this big, huge boat of a car. We got to spin it around on these narrow back country lanes, and there's barely room to drive it down the road, much less spin it around.
Victor has prepared this movie on a level that I've never seen a director prepare a movie on. He storyboarded every shot. He has critically gone through each word in the script, but having done that, as we adapt to the day-to-day shooting, he is prepared to change that, to take advantage of the situation that we're in, or to help deal with the problems that we're facing.
It's about playing that card game, We have some great cards in the beginning, but we haven't played our strongest cards yet. We even have more fantastic cards to play.
Okay, we're set. Take it, Jim. Okay, 3, 2, 1, action.
Two stunt people did the running over the car, Hank Amos and Kevin Ball, both phenomenally talented guys. And then when we got it to where I was happy with it, and I thought it was what Victor wanted to see, then we would bring Victor in to look at it, and he would say yay or nay.
That was good.
Good job, Hanky.
What we had them in was a suspension system that took part of their weight, but yet allowed them to be in control. So as the car's coming at them, they time their own actions. That way, nobody can time things for you better than you can when you're in the situation. And so they were totally in control themselves at the time, and they did just a phenomenal job.
I threw out a comment saying, well, you should do like a Spider-Man thing and have him crawl down the wall of the inside of the police station. Sure enough, next draft, there it was.
Nick Brandon was a creature crawling on the wall. What I thought was really cool about the shot was that Victor wanted to tie the actress in with the shot. So we had the actress playing Giselle at the end of the hallway, and the creature crawls right into her. So she's standing up, so we had to fly him on a wire rig coming down the wall, crawling sideways. And the attitude and the body language of the creature was just creepy coming at you, and I really enjoyed that.
Settle, everyone. And action!
I love the fact that I live alone with cats. I mean, that I could very well end up that way. Cats are fascinating. Cats are something to watch and learn from. I mean, they're very comforting, like a baked potato.
I always write for someone in mind, but it's so rare that I actually get the person that in the case of Eileen, it's really fantastic.
Okay, now let's see the push in on Eileen past the barrel. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, aim at the scarecrow, Eileen. Let's see what this looks like.
All right, from the scarecrow line.
This is really where this plays. You guys, as soon as she comes out, we're going to push into this, okay?
I love old school actors and actresses because they just have no barriers anymore. They just sort of say, which is the way it should be with everybody, but they're just unabashed and completely honest.
So it's always exciting when another actor comes in and kind of mixes it up a bit, and I think she's so talented that she's just going to make it more interesting and all the scenes so much better.
Excited to work with her because I've seen her work before, and you know, I'm a fan. I actually pick her up by the neck and smell her and, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a ball, you know. I think we're going to have a really good time doing it.
Action!
The creature's very real. I mean, I could have a nice conversation with him, but Victor didn't write that.
Action!
You know what W.C. Fields said, and we didn't have any kids. I have never worked with this many animals before.
Action!
Look, did you hear what I just said, lady?
Action! We cut! Action! And cut! And action!
One of the most important things about a movie like this is you shouldn't really trust the filmmaker. You know, I have to kind of subvert your faith in me as a storyteller. If you think you can second guess me, I have to prove early that you can't, so that you just have to surrender your expectations and let me take you on the ride.
I didn't know how to drive a stick shift before this movie, I have to admit. So I went and took stick shift driving lessons before. And I went out in the student driver car and felt like a huge dork in the student driver car, yes. And my first lesson, all I did was stall.
In the world of digital effects, Jeepers Creepers had its small share of computer-generated magic, though we planned to use CGI as little as possible. The exception to the rule about a real live creeper working in front of the camera were his wings.
1, 2, 3.
For those, we relied on the magic of E = MC². The CGI wings were added slowly and incrementally until their movements and texture were perfected. For two complex shots, green screens were photographed of a stunt creeper and stunt Darry to give the digital animators a starting point for the two shots where the creeper is mostly CGI. The blast out the window and the creeper flying away with Darry across the moon. For that shot, E = MC² came to Florida to shoot two elements: the glass blasting out of the police station window for the creature's escape with Darry, and the branches of trees that frame Trish's point of view as her brother flies across the moon in the creeper's clutches. The clouds and moon were painted onto the moving shot of the Florida treetops before adding the CGI element of Darry and the creeper. One of the things I'm most proud of about this movie is it doesn't let you off the hook emotionally. It doesn't diminish the impact that horror has in our lives, and so it's like, instead of having just items on the menu as your lead cast, you've got people that you are deathly afraid for and deathly concerned about. And one of the things that will be strongest about Jeepers Creepers is, I think, that you will come out feeling like you've been through an emotional ringer, as well as seeing a very cool monster movie.
Set.
And creature. Try one more, keep rolling.
Still turning. 1 second, checking focus.
Gun come up a little bit higher. Okay.
Set. Set.
And creature. Okay.
Okay, Breck, why don't you step out?
That's another.
Marker.
And set.